Well, though many of us certainly don't hope that this turns out to be historically bad, local public works directors certainly have to plan for this, especially in Minneapolis and St. Paul, where the residential roads recently got so bad it led to apologies and permanent parking restrictions. The public works directors for both of the big cities spent today and this entire previous weekend planning for this storm. Can't you talk to them? Are they thinking better luck this time?
Well, again, that's the hope, but it's not what they're planning for, Jana. Both of them made it very clear that if we do end up with record snow, they will absolutely need a lot of patience and help from residents, especially when it comes to moving cars. In Minneapolis, they even suggested that back-to-back snow emergencies are on the table here. In preparation for that, Minneapolis is going to offer free parking in the following 5 lots. We'll have that online too, of course. Now, for residents who already are stuck with single-sided parking in Minneapolis, those restrictions are still in place, of course, from the last mess. Now, over in St. Paul, they will not be opening any free parking lots, at least at this point, but they are definitely asking for help from the public.
The most important thing that people should prepare for is a place to move their car from Wednesday afternoon through Friday evening.
Sean Kershaw says St. Paul Public Works won't just need a parking assist from the public to keep up with what could be an all-time record snowfall.
I just left a meeting that the mayor had called, and all department directors are working together to make sure every available driver, whether that's a driver for a heavy plow truck like behind us or a pickup truck, is available for when we need them. We're going to be plowing over probably 72 to 96 hours, and so we want to make sure that staff are rested and able to do their jobs.
We are putting everything that we have at this storm.
Margaret Anderson Kelleher says in Minneapolis that will also include daily alley plowing to try to make sure residents and trash routes can keep moving. Though as long as the snow is falling, both cities will prioritize snow emergency routes and other arterial roads.
We also need people to do pre-planning so that they are prepared to be able to stay in place for maybe a couple of days, even through the weekend is a possibility here.
The last time it snowed, we had all of our trucks constantly plowing the main streets just to keep them clear. We couldn't endanger the safety by moving those trucks into residential areas. Emergency vehicles have radios to contact our plow trucks, and so one of the things that we've done in the past is clear the way for emergency vehicles to get to where they need to be. If the arterials and collectors are not clear, there are no options.
When the time does come for residential streets, Minneapolis is offering free parking because parking restrictions have already been in place for weeks. That's not as big of a worry in St. Paul after using road graders during the recent warm-up to widen 100 stretches of neighborhood road deemed critical for school buses and fire engines.
And we did finish that, so that will help us get ready for what's coming this week.
But he says they'll still need streets clear of cars before they can clear all that snow.
I recognize in saying that some people don't have options, and so in a snow emergency, that's where the coordination becomes really important. But as people have driveways, if a neighbor has a driveway and you can double up, if you've got options, to look at those.
Now keep in mind here, just because St. Paul has not opened parking lots or implemented single-sided parking for the entire winter, like in Minneapolis, it doesn't mean they won't. In fact, Sean said today that with this storm, everything is on the table. Jana.
That seems to be the theme we're hearing from the big cities, but there's smaller cities too and towns. I remember the last snowstorm, I reached out to the mayor of Maple Plain, who had to flat out just say, I'm sorry, we can't do this. And I wonder what happens now.
Yeah, it's something everyone's dealing with. The one thing they did point out with these metropolitan areas specifically is the narrow streets and sidewalks here. With all of this snow, it's got to go somewhere, right? And we talked about that the last time. It may take days to get it just out of there because there's nowhere else for it to go in these cities.
Right, and St. Paul pointed out when they plow that much snow, you can't see at the intersection of turning. There's just so many reasons, like Margaret Anderson Kelleher said, to not go out if you don't have to.
Right.
All right, thanks so much, Kent.